And and I find AI fascinating because on one hand, it could be the ruin of us all. On the other hand, it could, save the day and mean that we save the planet, we save each other, and we live harmonious forevermore. It's probably going to be somewhere in the middle to begin with. There's a couple of things. One is that we need to be having conversations right now about what AI is and how do we start to use it. We can't veer away from it. It actually could be a great thing for learning and development teams. So, for example, someone demonstrated to me the other day, they were looking at using AI to help people actually define problems to solve, like we were talking about earlier, and then design a basic kind of content structure and program about how you would maybe go and upskill in that area. They were also using an AI bot to then, when people started to use digital learning, talk to the people and say, okay, have you used this? What's happened next? What are you encountering any problems? Can I help you? And we've kind of heard some about like those coaching bots, but what was interesting is they were then taking that information and producing a report that the L&D person could then use to identify how to improve application of skills. Or, okay, so we've got managers doing this particular skills program, but what they're finding is that when they then go and work cross-culturally, this doesn't work for them anymore, or they're having problems. Or so it was really interesting how the idea was accelerating sort of learning needs analysis and problem analysis by integrating AI.
Yeah.
The big thing about that was actually making sure you were sourcing the data. You sourced from data that you knew what the data was. So they built their own data bank. And that's the big thing for me, is that we can use so much AI to create more personalized experiences, to kind of target moments that matter. We know some of these moments. However, we can't be just giving data over to ChatGPT and others. We need to actually understand, how do we build our own data sources and be very comfortable of how we're using people's data.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I've seen a few people talk about this and had some conversations, and I think the test part is interesting as well, because, for example, if I need to test if a sequence of communications resonates with my audience, then I could just ask ChatGPT to write all of those emails for me and then test it on a small scale and then see if that does resonate, and then we move again. And it's the same like you mentioned with the data there. Actually, it can fill some gaps, whether those gaps are skills or time. But if I don't have time or the skill to analyze data, which I definitely don't because I'm not great with numbers, it would be like if I could ask a tool to do it for me, that would be really, really helpful. And I guess it's just like you said, ensure your prompt is accurate and ensure any data you're using is accurate as well, would be like the ground rule.
Yeah, like so I started to use the phrase that we become the editor, not the creator. So we use AI to help us create solutions much faster, but we have to edit. We have to oversee, where's the data come from? How's it being sourced? And now how would it be used? Does it contain misinformation? And, I was talking to someone the other day and he said, if you're going to use ChatGPT to go, how do I design a learning program? Then you're not really, all you're doing is asking for content that's already generic and is already available. What would be really interesting is understanding what the manager of the organization might be asking ChatGPT. When I need to work with this particular strategy, I'm really struggling to understand how to, assess the business impact in this way. If you could go and get those questions, then you'll be able to design great courses. So it's actually thinking beyond the generic information and that's out there in AI, and thinking about how does it help us solve problems.
Yeah.